another very exciting episode of the Dingbat District Podcast. I've been waiting for this one for a long time now. We had to reschedule once because of me. That's on me, buddy. But y'all make some noise, even though there's no one here other than Blake, for my very good friend Tyler Varela.
All right.
Oh yeah, we have a track.
This is nice. Is that going to play on the video, you think?
Yeah, it will.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh yeah.
Thank you guys very much
for
having me.
Thanks for coming out, buddy. Real quick, while we're still in the very front of this podcast, will you go ahead and plug up your socials? And you said you had a show coming up, if you want to bring that up as well.
Yeah, what day's that?
I know you said it was a Cowabunga show, and fun fact, we just had Vinny Corrales on as well.
Oh,
he was
nice.
on promoting his hour that's he's doing in Plano at the end of or mid-September.
Okay, very good. Mine is it's the 21st of this month, so that's the Cowabunga show. I don't know where it's going to be, but it's going to be in Plano somewhere. You know what? Follow me on Instagram.
I feel like they're usually at the Fillmore, like right across the street from their open mic.
Yeah, the Victory Bar.
Oh,
Isn't that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, so
I think you're right.
I think it's where they have it. At least that's where you pointed at. So that's where it's going to be. I'll post something about it, like on my story or something, like the address. So it's going to be on the 21st, Cowabunga. I don't know how much I'm doing, maybe like 15. It's going to be like a bigger show. They said they get like a good turnout there. And I'm actually kind of excited for
That's
it.
what he was saying. He said when he was on the episode that at the last show they had to turn 50 people away because they sold out and technically oversold 50 extra tickets if they were able to seat those people. But they said it was like, Blake, what do you say, 120?
Yeah, dude, it's going to be awesome.
Like a real crowd. That's great.
Serious show. And it just looks like a restaurant. I think it's like a legit stage and stuff. They have it like formatted pretty well.
Right. It's I think it's set up for like it's outside, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. I think it's indoors.
Okay. I think I'm thinking of their old place.
Yeah, if it was outside, they probably wouldn't even have to turn those people away. They're just like, oh yeah, stand back there.
Yeah. That, and they probably wouldn't be having it in August unless it was at 10 p.m. Oh, are you zinning up? You
This
little
isn't
zin boy?
This isn't. I'm a little boy.
I'm a real boy.
It's
I'm
called.
a real boy.
They ran out of the zins. Like you have to zin. 2024. I think you need nicotine. You need to like artificially get it in you.
Yeah,
So
there's no way to live without sending chemicals directly into the bloodstream.
Dude. I'm so addicted at this point, but they don't have zins anymore. They just have the Velos, or at the gas station I go to, that's what they have. I think they're making a comeback. Are you guys sponsored by them?
We can be. Please
We
sponsor
should
us.
be.
Yeah, so pick them up, guys. Pick up Velos. I don't know how you pronounce
that
it.
camera.
Oh.
If you want to give a message.
I thought you were pointing at like we're
No, I
talking
was
about
pointing-
it on the
yeah.
Dingbat.
You.
No, like I did Zins or a Zin equivalent once, and it burned a rectangle into my lip. And I was like, I can never do this again. And I dipped snuff like from 15 to like 18.
Do you remember
Wow.
Snus?
Which one was the wet? Like the wet mixture. I didn't do the dry because that sucked and it was always a powder.
I don't know. It was like that little pouch. It came in like a.
No, not the pouches. Like I would actually do the actual tobacco.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you remember Snus, right? Camel Snus. That was like the original Zin.
I remember snorting that like Coke.
How would you snort a pouch?
Do you used to snort them?
This one wasn't in a pouch, and yes, if it was a really bad shift at work, I had one bad friend who had snus in a fine powder, and you would put it like under your fingernail and do it like Coke like that.
Right.
And it was like, I guess it was like snorting tobacco. Yeah, I remember this, but they had canisters like that where there weren't pouches, and it was just like powder.
This is we always did during class in high school.
Those are the first ones that came up,
Yeah,
right? Those
yeah.
are the first ones.
Yeah,
That's right.
and everybody's like freaking out, Zins. I'm like, we've had these for
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the first initial start of these. Like I remember electronic cigarettes that actually looked like cigarettes in like 2009. These have been out for a while.
Oh yeah, my mom had the first like e-cig.
Yeah.
E-cig. I remember hitting that thing whenever I was like 13.
Yeah, I remember walking around, specifically as trash it is San Antonio. Every single person in San Antonio in 2009 had an electronic cigarette.
Well, she would smoke the like peppermint one that was like 24 milligrams of nicotine, like the highest nicotine you can have, and it was like cancer in the fucking. Ugh.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the
Did you do any of that? Like, were you sneaking cigarettes in high school or anything like that?
I wasn't, man. I started probably smoking like a little bit of cigarettes in college.
When you started working in restaurants?
No.
Oh.
Just like when I started going to college and stuff like that. There's like parties and everything. They're always around.
Right.
That's when I started doing it. What's the university? So like it was just like big enough where everyone was like, somebody had them at
Somebody
parties.
had a pack, yeah.
Right. So I just started doing that.
I mean, we bought a pack last night.
Yeah,
Blake
that
and
was
I
last
both.
night.
Yeah, no, cigarettes are good. Like, I like them.
Yeah.
Like, but, I started getting, like, paranoid enough where I was just going to be like, oh, I'm going to start vaping instead. That's when vaping just got out of, like, it just got common enough where people are like, oh, no, I'm doing it too.
And they weren't the huge
I'm doing it.
boxes.
No.
You had, like, the disposables and even these.
No, but it was still big. It was like a cylinder. It was like a long cylinder where you refilled it. They were always
really long,
black, too.
beautiful, sleek, shafted,
Nice.
nice,
Black.
Rubber tip.
veiny. I mean,
Black.
black,
But,
midnight black.
Are we talking about a cock now?
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
You have one?
Yeah, I do.
That's a gateway into sucking is getting hooked on nicotine.
That's
So
what
I
they're
started
trying to
with
do.
cigarettes,
That's what
then
my
I went
dad
to
was telling me.
vaping, and then I started sucking cock
Yeah,
in my sophomore year.
What you don't know is Elton John actually runs the tobacco industry.
Is that right?
No.
Oh, that's the
Did y'all ever see the video of Joe Biden trying to give Elton John like props for raising money for AIDS? And the way he said it just sounded so terrible. Blake, see if you can pull this up. Type in Joe Biden, AIDS, Elton John. But he basically goes like, he's trying to say, because of this man, we raised $9 million for AIDS. And he just goes, we spent $9 million on AIDS because of this guy. He said just the complete wrong thing.
what the
Well, it already says fact check. Biden's words were taken out of context. He didn't actually mean it, guys.
Of course it is.
Stand up for the facts. Dude, did you guys hear that there was an assassination attempt on Trump?
Yeah.
Everybody heard that.
I had to stop myself knowing you. I was like, was there another one?
Yeah, right. Dude, that's so big that it's already old. If somebody find out about it now, it's
Right.
like comical because it's been like 2 weeks, but it's still like funny because it's like, did you guys hear? No.
That and like I completely missed where Slopey came into, like that became a huge trend on Twitter and TikTok, just saying Slopey because Elon Musk said the roof he was laying on was slopey, and it took me like 2 weeks after the fact to figure out where that even came from.
The is a slopey?
Exactly. It was just a whole trend on my Twitter for a little bit though.
It was
Just
like
every single person was just saying it's a little slopey or something.
was that a Slurpee with herpes in it?
Probably.
Maybe.
No, it was
Yeah.
because of the roof he was laying on was like on a slope, and they said they were like making that to be some big point of the shot, and I don't even remember.
Let's
But-
get political.
Yeah, now it's time to go.
Let's get political.
Trans rights.
What do you think about that?
They can
For
do
him or
whatever-
against him? For him or against
Yes.
him? Yeah.
Yeah, whoever subscribes, that's what I believe.
I just figured out who I'm voting for this year. It's Miles Francis.
Kanye. Oh,
No, Miles Francis, 2024.
You putting him on the ballot?
I am.
He's not even running, man.
He is. He just doesn't know it yet.
with his vice president of just weed.
I'll be his vice president.
Well, that's not going to give him any better.
He's not getting. I mean,
Oh, he's not going to get voted in, Blake? Are
the
you
guy's
sure?
name is Mr. Most Days Off. Like, you really want that guy as the fucking president?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
If we're ever in need of a scuba situation, that's our president.
Like, Mr. President, we're getting nuked right now. He's like,
Scuba!
eh,
How old are you guys?
23.
27, almost 28.
Almost 28.
Yeah,
When's your birthday?
January.
January? In January? I'm 28.
Okay.
Okay. When's your
But-
birthday?
July 20th. Just had my
Okay.
birthday.
Oh, happy
Aw,
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
We didn't get you anything. But
I got you a kiss.
What?
Oh.
Let's go f***ing viral, bitch. Come here.
All right, cut to the Patreon, Blake.
Yeah, cut to the OnlyFans. Let's make out.
This is why Lemon Pepper is beating us.
Oh.
Because they gay kiss?
Yeah,
Or because they don't gay kiss?
I'm not sure.
You guys got to start doing more gay stuff on here. I swear to God. I tune in every week, and it's just the most heterosexual, monotonous, like, hey, football.
That's him.
Hey, truck on mud on trucks and stuff. It's fucking ridiculous. You guys are like, tractor tires.
Especially if we have
Straight.
Jamie on the podcast.
It's just yelling.
It gets super right wing very fucking quick whenever he's
I
on.
bet.
So let's get feminine. Let's talk about our feelings.
Let's get feminine.
Let's get feminine.
What kind of feelings do you want to talk about? I didn't bring any with me.
What about Tarantino?
You guys want to talk about him?
I
Yeah,
hate
I
him
do.
for his love of feet, but I love him for his work. I wanna kiss him.
Explain that.
I don't know. I just said something.
I'm super defensive.
Would you not jerk off on a woman's foot? Like, not feet,
I've
not
done it.
plural, just one foot.
Just in her hair.
What about a bald chick?
Well, I don't want to watch it like droop down into her eye. That's sad.
That's nice though. Just watching it off her head like that.
Like when someone used to do the egg crack on your head.
Oh, daddy. Daddy. I said daddy. But you do have the Kill Bill poster behind you, big boy.
I do.
So you're like a Tarantino freak. Have you seen all 10 films? I guess 9 now.
Yeah, I've seen all of them. They're all off the checklist, but I've got to go back and watch Jackie Brown again because I did it on too much of an edible, so I only remember like the first 15 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Everyone who's a Tarantino fan is like, I watched Jackie Brown too long ago. I need to I swear to God, that's always even me.
Yeah,
like I can hardly. I mean, I remember it pretty well. Like I know everything. I know what happened and everything. I could ruin the ending for you, but I can't remember the details of
It's
it.
a
not
it's
my
a
favorite
sleeper
one.
pick. It's one of I really like
It's
that
just
one.
the one that everyone forgets about.
Yeah.
And I wish I could say it deserves more, but I don't even know. Like I couldn't tell
Like my buddy John in the military, we got up one day and started watching all the Tarantino films,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Oh, Jackie Brown." He has a huge thing for black women. He's like, "I love Pam Grier,"
That's my kind
and
of guy.
I was like, "Dude, I hate Jackie Brown. It's my least favorite Tarantino movie." And then I sat there and watched it. I was like, "I forgot this is actually a lot better than I thought."
yeah.
Awesome.
Like,
It's one of those ones where like I feel ashamed that I know more about what's the zombie movie? Zombie Planet? Is it Terror Planet?
oh, Terror Planet.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
more about that movie that's not even technically a part of the 10.
Right.
I don't know Jackie Brown.
Death Proof is part of the 10.
Yeah, it is.
Death Proof is part of the 10. Not Terror Planet though.
Yeah,
the
he didn't
Ricker-
direct those. Robert Rodriguez did.
Yeah, but it almost basically counts. Like if you're a Tarantino buff, the first question every time I ask and figure out someone's a Tarantino buff, the first question I get asked is always, "Have you seen Terror Planet?" Like they're trying to trump me on something. Like, what do you get out of this? Like, if I haven't seen Terror Planet, what do you?
Right. They're trying to
do you
seem like
strive to
bigger
gain?
fans than you are.
Yeah,
Is what they're doing. But like, yet saying like Death Proof is one of his 10 is also like saying that like True Romance is one of his films. Have you guys seen
Yeah.
True Romance?
love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wrote that one, but he didn't direct.
Yeah.
He just that's the first thing he ever wrote. He just sold it, so I guess
Yeah.
he didn't direct it because he didn't
I'm glad
have the
I didn't
experience.
realize Tarantino wrote that the first time I watched it, and then went back and watched it again after I watched it. Because after you realize he's the one that wrote it, you hear it in his writing so much easier. Like it sounds
Absolutely.
exactly like him if he wrote a romance movie.
You want to hear how
Yeah.
that whole thing started with him selling
You
it?
know I do, big guy.
He was a struggling screenwriter working at a fucking video court spot. His friend got him into a Hollywood party in the hills,
Okay.
and he had written True Romance and Reservoir Dogs, and he was trying to shoot Reservoir Dogs on like 16 millimeter black and white,
Mhm.
do like the whole indie whatever. And he ran into Tony Scott, the legendary director, Ridley Scott's brother.
Right.
Yeah, Tony Scott did Top Gun, all these great movies. And he got to talking to Tony. He's like, "Yeah, I got these 2 screenplays. You know, I've been shopping around, yada yada yada." And Tony's like, "Oh, I want to read them." So brought him to Tony. Tony read both of them. He's like, "I want to do Reservoir Dogs." And Quentin's like, "You can't do Reservoir Dogs.
That's
I'm
mine."
doing Reservoir Dogs." And he was like, "Fine, I'll give you 20 grand for True Romance." And Quentin was like, "Deal."
Damn.
Yeah.
That's f***ing great, dude. I love
Wow,
just
that's interesting.
I
What a stroke of
love
luck.
Yeah.
I love what he does to movies because we've talked about this recently on the podcast, but I love when a movie is set, like if it's a 2-hour movie and it's a 3-hour setting. Like I want one shot, one place, and I don't want it to be months at a time is the sequence of this movie.
Okay.
Like sometimes a series of something can be over a short span of time. Like the last thing I referenced was Bullet Train. I don't know if you saw that, but that felt very Tarantino-esque. That's why I love that movie.
Bullet Train. It was like Brad Pitt. That's
yeah,
the new
Brad
one.
Pitt.
Yeah, Brad
Yeah.
Pitt, and it had all the chapter bases. Like at the same time this is happening, you're going back and watching Bad Bunny, the Latino pop star.
Yes,
He's
I know
in the
him.
movie. Yeah, he got.
Oh, wow.
You're going while Brad Pitt's doing one thing. You're watching his sequence of being in the movie.
Cool.
And
yeah.
it's just a way different way to writing movies. Like the first time I watched Pulp Fiction, I felt like I found John Smith's tablets.
You know,
like it was
Totally.
the first time I ever
It's-
was awake and watching a movie.
It's thinking outside the box as a filmmaker.
Right.
You know, there's not one way to shoot a movie, which that was the perception for about 50 years up until Tarantino started doing it. He's like, well, you can do this differently.
Right, and like you go and watch. Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, and then as soon as I did, I thought about it and I lost what I was going after.
I was gonna say it's not really more about like the way he shoots his movies for me. Like it's almost like doesn't really have to direct them. Like I do appreciate how he directs the actors and stuff, but it's more about like the ironic dialogue, like
Yeah.
all those scenes where they're just talking for really long about mundane.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I'm like, this is like the
so
best.
much
This
detail.
is yeah. There's a lot of detail in it. It's just like a weird way of like letting your characters speak. I just thought that was like something just so different I've never seen before. What's your guys' favorite Tarantino film?
It changes all the time.
Yours changes
Recently,
a lot?
I think it's been Reservoir Dogs.
Okay, yeah, that's
I've got to rate them now that I'm not watching it for the first time anymore, other than maybe like Jackie Brown. It's in my head. I've got to pick the best movie to put on in the background that I can also get on my phone and still enjoy it. Like I can play on my phone and also be reciting what's going on in the movie.
Mhm.
So that's what always takes Inglourious Bastards out of the running for me. Because a third of the movie's in English, a third of the movie's in French, and a third of the movie's in German.
So you don't like that?
I love that movie
Mm-hmm.
if I'm ready to pay attention for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's the one problem is, as much as it sucks, TikTok has brain rotted every single person.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
about.
Sure,
Well,
it
not
has.
every person, but
Yeah.
I
don't-
I can't pay attention anymore. And we were talking about on the last episode with Noah that I think comedy specials now are better off when they're 30 minutes, because an hour-long special is, even me, someone who loves every comedy special, and I want to just engulf the whole thing,
Mhm.
I can only watch them in 2 sittings now. I can't watch it all the way through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If it's somebody that I really like, if I'm trying to like watch like a new comic, I know we're going off of Tarantino because I want to talk about Inglourious Bastards some more because that's my
We'll
favorite
come back to
movie.
it.
That's my favorite as well.
Yeah, hell yeah, that is definitely hands
it's-
down my favorite. But
It's at least in the top 3, if not top 2, but
yeah,
because I have to pay attention for the foreign dialogue.
yes. I think my favorites go Inglourious Bastards, Django, Reservoir Dogs.
Are we counting Kill Bills 1 and 2 as one, like one whole movie?
Yeah, we can because I don't like 2 before 1. I like beginnings more than the endings typically in his film.
You like
yeah,
one more than 2?
I did. Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah.
Are we the same person?
I think.
I love 2 so much.
Are we not the same person?
No, I'm the same person as Chris.
2's amazing. I mean, I'll count them as the same one because I have no problem in doing that because I prefer the first one first anyway. So like, go Kill Bill
Right.
right after Inglourious, right after Reservoir Dogs, and then actually Pulp Fiction before Kill Bills,
I get it.
and then
It's so good.
but yeah, definitely Inglourious Bastards and Django, my
Yeah.
favorites. I think they're amazing.
I would say
Django is great.
I'd say tied for first is Inglourious Bastards and Pulp Fiction. There's something about me as like somebody that consumes so many films that when you can stick the landing on a movie, which those 2 movies do it perfectly,
Right.
that's the best feeling I get as, a viewer, is when you have just such a great movie and then you just end it in the most perfect way possible.
I love the subject matter of taking like the 2 like worst kind of villains in history, like Nazis and then the racist South.
Yeah.
Like that's just such a good premise to go off
Yeah.
and right with that people don't take advantage of enough. Because you
Right.
could be as mean as you want to those people, and be as ironic as you want and like be as like politically incorrect. But that's what I love about his films is like that word right there, no problem being politically incorrect, and it's
Right.
just all the racy kind of humor in it. It's just like my favorite thing. It's like candy. People always get mad, like, oh my god, it's like too much. But I think it's like over the top in just the right way.
It's
It's
over the
just-
top in just the right way, and it's
like it.
it's not even historically accurate because it's probably way worse.
Right. It's exaggerated. I love exaggeration
Right.
and just being abstract. It just taking chances. That's what he's an artist. So like, off. And if you don't like it, just you don't have to watch. It's only 10 films. You can
Right.
easily
You
avoid
get
his
to avoid
movies.
10 long movies that you don't have to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Blake, will you go ahead and look up the actual like ranking of all his movies? I'm curious to see what critics are saying.
I bet Reservoir Dogs, like your favorite, is in the front of most of these
It
lists.
honestly, it just depends on the critic, because there's a lot of critics that love him and there's a lot of critics that hate him. Like
True.
Roger Ebert, one of the greatest movie critics of all time, loved Quentin.
Okay.
I think Paul Lee Kael died before Quentin started, but like there was another like huge critic, and he was like, I respect it. I respect what it is. I just didn't like the over the topness of it, kind of ordeal.
And that dividing of the crowd is exactly what makes him a good film director.
Yeah.
You can't do something that everyone loves.
Here we have Rotten Tomatoes.
I guess that's probably the closest we're
Yeah.
gonna get.
Yeah, probably. Let's see. Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction number
Okay.
one.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
not what I expected.
Reservoir Dogs.
As much
It's
as I love that fucking movie, it's not what I expected.
it's his best movie.
Like critically, it's his best movie. Or what
From
do you
like
say?
looking at it from a filmmaker's perspective and
yeah,
a
like-
writer's
like
perspective,
technically, it's his
it's
best.
it's his best movie.
Mm-hmm. It's the second
Reservoir
one.
Dogs 2.
Oh, this is a great list. It's
Yeah.
actually
But
pretty good.
going to your ranking, it does. I do love that shit too. When we're talking about like he's the best about putting details into the most mundane shit. Like
Yeah.
almost everyone remembers the random ass Amsterdam McDonald's dialogue in the beginning. Is that the beginning of Pulp Fiction? Isn't that like the very beginning?
The diner scene where they're just talking back and forth.
No, the Royale with cheese.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, like
That's not
everyone
the first
knows
scene,
that.
but
It's not the first scene. But it's set early in the movie. Well,
I think so.
yeah, they're still in the suits. Right. Yeah, they're still in the suits, so they're not in the dumb clothes yet.
They're like driving to that apartment complex, and they
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
through the hallway. They get in there, and then they shoot the guy once, and they have the burgers there.
Not to sidestep on this. Have you seen the memes of Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta standing there, and then they've photoshopped in the Turkish shooter right next to them, holding up his gun?
No, I haven't
Oh,
seen that.
Blake,
I don't
will
know
you
what
make a
that
new
is.
tab and see if you can find it?
A Turkish shooter.
Pulp Fiction meme Turkish shooter. Have you been following the Olympics at all?
I've been watching a few, like when it's on. I'll like keep it on in the living room just so I can like have, because I don't want to miss something that comes out only every 4 years. I want to have it like at least in the environment.
Right.
I don't really care that much about sports. But I will watch the Olympics. Well, look at that.
You know what we should do for the promo of this episode is we should
Use this thumbnail.
no, we should Photoshop all three of our faces.
Oh,
onto
that would be
the-
hilarious.
Yeah. Do
Blake, if
that.
that's something you can do easily, I would love that.
I might just do it.
And because he's the guest, Tyler Samuel L. Jackson.
God damn it. All right. Okay. God damn it. I'm in. If we're talking about memes.
God damn
You
it,
do have
Rick.
to learn Ezekiel 25:12 now, though.
Fine.
The path of the righteous man. Well, the thing about Quentin's dialogue is somebody that is a screenwriter and has studied screenwriting for 8-9 years
Say
now.
that 9 or 10 more times, Blake. I'm fucking with you. I'm sorry.
Fuck off.
Have you written screenplays and
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
You gone to school for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got movies like you got movies stored away?
He's got
Yeah,
that one.
I got a couple.
That one's on YouTube.
I
Check
got
out Whiskey Seltzer or don't.
Don't. No, I got a couple good scripts scrolled away. But anyways, back to Quentin's dialogue. It's not supposed to, like, the way that he writes, it's not supposed to work.
Yeah.
Like, it's everything that they will teach you about screenwriting, they'll tell you don't do what the fuck Quentin does.
Not to try and bury your lead, but can you be descriptive in what you're talking? Like, can you give an example
So,
of something
like,
that he does that's the antithesis of what they teach?
so you've read the Whiskey. You obviously read that script.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I read a lot of it. I did my best.
It's brilliant and symmetric. Brilliant.
You know, he was in the movie, but he
technically
didn't read
perfect.
the whole script. Anyways, but
I did my
everything
best.
everything you write has to have a purpose.
Right.
So when he's talking about Royale with cheese and shit like that, going from like a filmmaker's perspective,
That's
if
not
he's
supposed to work.
It's not moving the story
yeah,
forward.
if he says something about burger or McDonald's and Royale with cheese, there better be a cheeseburger later in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing.
It's also one of those scenes where even though it genuinely holds no purpose to the movie,
Yeah.
you don't want to take it out.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah.
I think because the direction is ironic on top of that. You know,
Yeah.
that's why people probably couldn't take his scripts and direct them themselves
No.
because they're just so weird, like
Well-
you're saying. Because objectively, if you're reading it on a script, you're like, this is silly. This looks goofy. This looks like it's something where you're kind of like making a joke and you're not moving the wants of any of the characters forward. You're making a statement of like how odd. But he's just being blatant about it.
Yeah.
You know, he's acknowledging it in some weird way through the direction, through the camera. That's making it okay.
The purpose is really almost just the backstory that he made for the characters that doesn't get written about. Like, he just wrote in a little bit of backstory
Yeah.
for context.
Well, and
Because you got to know that they are partners that love each other and respect each other to know in that scene where they're in Phil Lamar's apartment, they're not actually pissed at each other.
Mhm.
yeah. Well, and to go back to what you said about other directors cannot direct his films,
Mhm.
we have two samples of that.
Mhm.
Tony Scott directed True Romance, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but Quentin also wrote Natural Born Killers that Oliver Stone
Yeah,
directed.
I felt like he had some ties
And
to that.
Tony Scott, he's such a quirky filmmaker in himself. It was almost a perfect match because he really didn't change too much out of the script. I think the biggest thing that he changed was the ending, and
That's a pretty big thing
what's the guy's name? The main character, Christopher Slater.
in the movie.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I don't know.
but he's supposed to die at the end of that
Right.
movie, and Tony Scott added that extra scene that he didn't die.
Right.
So that was really the only thing Tony changed. Oliver Stone, on the other hand, he pretty much changed everything in Natural Born Killers, and it fucking
it made
his-
it weird.
it pissed off Tarantino.
Yeah.
Tarantino has pretty much disowned that movie at this point.
That's funny, dude. I remember trying to watch Natural Born Killers and like looking at the premise of it itself. I think I like watched the trailer and I'm like, this is about to be one of my favorite movies. I turned it on, and like halfway through it, I was like so turned off by it for some
Yeah.
reason. I couldn't really put my finger
part
on it,
of
but
it
I
was,
stopped
like,
watching.
Well, I remember one thing I specifically hated from that movie was he would do too many, like, in a sitcom, you have those panning shots of your driving, but the signs that are passing you by are fading through the shot.
Yeah.
He had that, like, for 20 total minutes of the movie,
Well,
it felt like.
I'll tell you
that was in.
what fucked up that movie was the Dutch angles that he did. You know, those crazy like
Yep.
45-degree shots.
Mm-hmm.
In like filmmaking principles, you're only supposed to use those shots to like
Provide emphasis.
not even emphasis, but like to kind of like scare the audience,
Right.
sort of. So when you're doing that the entire fucking movie, it's gonna turn everybody off on that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had like that 20 or 30 minute long like drug tripping
Yeah.
scene in the tents. I was just like, I mean, it was probably written that way, but Tarantino would have made it somewhat interesting and like somewhat
I don't know.
fun to watch.
That might have been my favorite scene.
Yeah, I probably should rewatch it so I can
Hate it
critique
some
it a
more.
little. Yeah,
You'll probably hate it some more. Robert Downey's in it with a weird Australian accent.
Okay, so because we're all movie nerds, and while I'm thinking about it, I know this might not be anyone's movie, but I do love this movie. Netflix came out with a movie called Extraction with Hemsworth that played Thor. I always forget the first name. Chris? Okay.
Chris.
And he was an Australian mercenary that was hired by an Indian or Pakistani drug lord, to find his son that had been taken. Great movie overall, especially if you love action
watched
movies. You like it?
yeah, I did like it.
I
My boy, it was
Uh,
like a fucking boygasm. All the action and shit. It's a lot of fun.
that, and I
Dude,
was
that
way
one
too high
take-
the first time I watched it, so I felt like I was vibrating like a tuning fork, like someone just smacked me on a table.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
Oh, I was too high. Like the
Wouldn't you want to see him vibrate like a
Yeah, dude,
tuning
I'd spit in my hand and do the deed.
Oh yeah, if Paxton started vibrating like
Yeah.
a tuning
my
fork.
full body went Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, and then stick that tuning thing up my ass.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Now we need to call Christopher back.
Fucking
But to go back to movie nerdisms,
yes.
the part about that movie that makes me boygasm so much is
Mhm.
it's got a 14-minute no-cut chase scene through the Indian favelas. Like he's running through parts of Indian
Yes.
walls in the favelas, in the apartments and shit like that. He's chasing around. He's running through people's homes and then on their patio and then back out through the window. And the guy is chasing him the whole time, 14 minutes no cut. It was amazing. Like
Yeah.
they even went from a driving scene too. Like it started off in a chase driving scene and then went to on foot.
They actually had hitting cuts inside the car. Like when he went through, obviously because you can't take a camera through glass through the back of that car. So then they're
Right.
putting it through, like when he gets in the car, it starts on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And then they push it back through the glass of the car. That's CGI glass in the back of the car. So there's like hitting cuts in there. But everything in the apartment complex, that's all through and through.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
there-
more sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was just like I wonder how many times it took them to nail that.
I don't know a fucking idea, but I know the director. If I'm not mistaken, he's actually like the stunt man for Chris Hemsworth, like in his Thor movies or something. He's a stunt man, and that was his directorial debut.
Really?
Was Extraction with the guy he usually stuntmans for.
That's really weird.
Go down.
The director was Sam Hargrave, I think.
Beautiful man.
Yeah,
Stunt-
that's a good looking dude.
Yeah, he's a nice looking guy.
Jesus.
Shit.
How is he not a leading guy?
I don't think he acts. He just does stunt work, and he also likes to direct.
Yeah.
As you know, it's hard to act.
Yeah. Yeah. I did fucking dog
Done
shit.
some. Have you done some acting work?
Just for him, and I did. Looking back on it now, I thought I did such a great job. That's the cringy part because I didn't do terrible, but it wasn't good.
You know, the only person that really knocked it out of the park was Sean. And he's the only guy that is an actual trained actor out of that. Well, him and I.
Yeah, but I have my things.
I know that you hate people.
I don't hate Sean. I just can't listen to him very long because he has a lisp. And I try to do my best, but I can't take people with lisps seriously for very long because I had a stutter growing up, and I fixed it. You can fix it too.
Well, I mean,
you don't stutter at all anymore.
When I get really nervous, I start to.
Really?
Yes.
You ever stutter during stand-up when you first started?
All the time. I
didn't
still do
notice
it.
That.
I think I did it last night. I don't know if anyone caught it, but it would like.
I also had 6 beers during that show. So
I'm really hoping for everyone to be as drunk as Blake was at all of my shows.
Were you on, what show were you on?
Graffiti Pasta out in Denton.
Oh fuck! Was it fun? Was it good?
Dude, it is a legit kill box.
Really?
It's
That
a
much
basement
fun,
with
man.
a bunch of concrete walls, so
Huh.
all the laughs just pop and bounce. They have people that are like legitimately just there for comedy, so
Mhm.
like they're great fans.
That's the best.
And I'm not saying this in a negative aspect because they sell it out a lot. But last night it wasn't sold out. It was probably a half a crowd, but it was still an amazing crowd.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even have been able to tell really on stage that it was a lighter crowd than normal. And they're really like, I mean, it just started being Denton Comedy Spot just
Yeah.
started in
probably like
maybe
2 months ago. Yeah.
2-3 months ago. And it's already really popping off. They get a lot of foot traffic because it's just off the square in Denton.
Fuck yeah, nice.
And
Lauren's doing a hell of a job running it.
she
Like,
really is. I
yeah.
cannot wait for her to come on with Miles. That's
Yeah.
going to be a fun episode.
Yeah.
Especially because I feel like we're just going to scare the shit out of her. Just how quickly this is going to go.
Well, I mean, that's why I was like, yeah, we should probably bring Miles too.
We're going to need Miles to
Yeah.
keep up with the double dutch.
Yeah. Bring
Was
a
it-
friend.
I wasn't there during your first set ever, was I? Like at Reno's? Was that where you first did stand up?
That was one of my first ones, and I think you were there.
I remember you coming up to me and introducing yourself. You like seemed, because I didn't see your set or anything, but you just seemed like you were new.
Oh, you know what? I remember it. My first one was Shannon Brewery out here. I don't know if you ever got to do that.
I've been there, yeah.
I love that spot. I'm sad to see it have gone because you would have loved that spot. It was fucking cool. If they just had one back wall to cover the brewery side of the
Yeah.
brewery, perfect. But I think my third time doing stand up, I was at Reno's. You were there, and I asked you because someone had brought up a list. And I asked you for where to find the list on the Facebook page. And then ever since then, I've just always felt comfortable coming to talk to you at shows.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause especially at Reno's, that's like 16 different clicks that comes to that place. And I'm like, all right, Tyler's here. I'm
Yeah,
gonna bring up
there-
his hair, and then we're going to talk for a little bit.
Yeah, dude,
You
I
lucky
remember
cunt. I fucking love your hair.
you had long hair for a while. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
but it's long. Like, I just realized I went and watched, have you watched Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah.
We can talk about that, too, in a minute if we're not done with Tarantino. But right before that,
Sure.
I went to go watch that, and I was watching that movie, and at some point he puts the suit on, and the only thing I can notice isn't anything about how cool the suit looks or anything. I'm like, I have Hugh Jackman's hairline, and he's 45 at least. This sucks.
Oh, is his hairline bad?
Kind of. He's got the same widow peaks I do that start all the way up here, and
Oh.
the wings on the side of the head. That just like the side hair sticks straight up on my head if I don't like brush it or wear a hat.
Well, I think they style it like that just
Right,
because he's
because-
like a Wolverine.
Yeah, and that's how he was in the old comic books, but that's how mine is just because of cowlicks. Like, I have to pay every barber I have extra money because they're like, all of your hair is disjointed. Like, you shouldn't have hair.
Okay.
Yeah. That and my mom's dad, the one they say it's important for hair, he went bald at 17, so
Oh,
Yeah.
not looking good.
yeah, I'm living on borrowed time at this point.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. I'm really just waiting until I have enough money to go to Turkey to get the space rug.
Space rug.
The fake hair that looks really good.
I haven't seen that.
Dan Soder got it, and it looks. Blake, once you sit back down, can you look Dan Soder then versus now on hair?
It's not like a toupee, is it? It's not like not like hair plugs, right?
No, it's kind of more so a toupee, but it's sewn in basically. Like they just basically you have to pick the hairstyle you want for the rest of your life, and then they sew that. What he got is what I would get in that they just take two triangles and put them right here at the same length you're always going to have your hair at for now,
Okay.
unless you go shorter. And then it's almost like a piece of carpet.
Okay. And you want that? You think that'd be good?
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be good, man.
I
Should
don't want to. I want to have the ability to not be bald if I don't want to be bald.
I don't think you'll have to. There's so much shit like that. There's so much hair system bullshit out there now. It's not like it was like 20 or 30.
Yeah, I just
years
know
ago.
now that it'll have to be prescription. I can't keep up with the shit that's not prescription for hair supplements because at some point it just becomes expensive pee for me. It doesn't work.
Right.
Like I need the prescription Rogaine and shit. Images. I think there probably is a side by side.
And you can't even tell. I would never have thought, it was a system or anything.
To be honest, I never even noticed his receding hairline as bad up until we were watching a Legion of Skanks episode, which is a podcast he does a lot with his friends from New York.
Yep.
And you could see up here, because it was in 2021 that they shot this, and we were just watching it now, and he's got the space rug now, but like it just makes a flat brow line across is really what it's doing.
Space rug. He
Space
might
rug.
just have a big forehead.
He does have a huge forehead.
Like some people, like it's, it's kind of, I'm just going to sit forward and sit back and fuck you
True,
up on the
but
cameras there, pal.
This is
What's your name
also
again?
different.
Fuck, I forgot.
This is it's a problem.
Oh, Paxton.
Yeah.
That's not good. Show the
Yeah.
viewers.
Showing the viewers at home. I used to not be able to see this mole. Like this mole that's somewhere around here. It used to be in the hair, in the thickets of the weeds, and
Paxton.
yeah. Why do you think I would always have worn a hat?
Hats look good on you, man. And it's not even that bad either. I mean, you're kind of young for that.
It's
though.
just now at the point where I specifically have to brush it forward. It can't be brushed back anymore.
Sure.
So that sucks. I can't live my Sons of Anarchy Jack's life anymore.
Oh, Paxton.
I know. That was my guy.
Buddy.
I know. I wanted to be Charlie Hunnam so bad.
Oh, you do? Put your headset back on, man.
Stupid British part. I would be British to be Charlie Hunnam. Blake, are we okay? Do we need to take like a little break to work on the cams? Okay.
Let's talk about something else. No
Let's
one
talk
cares
about
about your hair.
No one cares about my hair. What were we?
Nobody gives a fuck.
Did we
about
finish
your...
our? Oh, we didn't even finish the Tarantino debate. I think we got to number 3 on the ranking.
I think I won, right? Are we scratch and sniff?
Scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be the name of this podcast. If I hadn't already said that. But
Yeah, we do.
don't get offended
All we can do right now is just change the subject.
and talk about Tarantino.
No one will know. No one will know it. Everyone will forget if we just change it.
Don't act suspicious. Don't act suspicious.
I mean,
let's go past number 3 because we didn't even make it past. Okay, so like that makes the most sense because Inglourious Bastards is higher on my list if everything is in English and I don't have to try as hard to pay attention. I love this movie, but
What's
I'm
your
dumb.
problem with paying it? Like, just read this. What the fuck is the matter with you when it comes down to it? Like, just read the goddamn subtitles. And it's in. I love the language. Like when they're down there in like the basement bar and they're going back and forth with each other and talking.
That's a huge thing.
Like it's just poetry. Like the way
Yeah.
that they speak, it makes it that much more better. It's almost like it's already art, and now they're talking like this beautiful language, just back, bouncing back and forth. Same with the French language they have near the theater scene.
And I know it's a stupid argument, but my only argument is I'm the type of person to put on a movie because I have 3 hours to put on said movie, but I'm also going to walk out and do the dishes and turn the TV up so I can hear it
Mm-hmm.
and then just know where I am. And
Why-
I also like saying the lines as they come out
Why
because
don't-
I'm stupid.
You just
Pause it.
get a prescription for Ritalin,
Yeah, you're right.
stick it up your ass as like a suppository, and then just watch the movie for 3 hours.
The biggest problem, I probably definitely should have had Ritalin growing up, but like Kenzie Ford liked to tell me is apparently I have girl ADHD.
Girl ADHD.
Yeah, she liked to break it down that girls have very internal thought process ADHD, and guys have energetic, outward, active ADHD.
I don't know if that's right at all. Seems like mine is just bounce. Like I just can't trouble concentrating on stuff. Like I don't
Right.
have like the biggest energy ever, but like I'll be fucking with the table when people are like, what, I have to be almost doing something else sometimes for me to pay attention.
I'm always bouncing
and I
my
think
knee.
that's more mental ADHD than that, don't you? I mean, when I was young, I was definitely like crazy, I think, from it,
So,
but I didn't know what was going on, so I couldn't really control it.
Part
But
of
impulsive.
it is now that ADHD and ADD are classified as the same thing.
Yeah,
they
I don't know
made
the
this-
difference. I sure as fuck don't know the difference in that.
ADHD, my sister had, which was more hyperactivity disorder, which is what they usually quantify to boys when they're super hyper and always running around and screaming and yelling. And then ADD was lack of focus.
Okay.
Look,
Okay.
man, if you can
So
get
I
an
have two
Adderall
things then.
prescription, say whatever you have to.
I would love like a Vyvanse, since I've heard that's like diet Adderall.
Dude, that shit gives you so much anxiety. I don't know if you guys,
Nah,
at
never
least
mind.
me, at least. I mean, it does almost the opposite of what it says it's going to.
They
you
all
focus
do.
on some shit,
Yeah.
but you're like you're hyper. As
Do you have
hell.
panic attacks?
Yeah,
Do you remember your first panic attack? I was thinking about this the other day.
I don't remember my first one.
I didn't have them until very late, or at least never recognized that they were panic attacks until I was older. But
Yeah.
the first one I remember recognizing was I was out hunting with a friend, and I was having to sleep in my truck because we didn't get a campground.
Okay.
And something about me is like when I go to sleep, I've got very Princess and the Pea brain.
Aw.
So if like there's folds in the sheets, I don't get comfortable because I can feel all the folds.
Okay.
And
That makes sense to me.
I was laying in my truck, and I couldn't fully extend my legs, and I was kind of sleeping like this, and out of nowhere the air just got so thin and hot that I couldn't breathe.
Oh.
And now instead of hunting, I was just standing outside of my truck at 3 a.m. waiting for 4 a.m. to come so me and my friend could walk out to the field.
Oh my
I
God.
was just fucking freaking out.
Paxton.
Thankfully, I snuck a joint.
You're
out.
doing the Rain Man shit.
Hot water burn baby, hot water burn baby.
I want to burn Paxton. How about
Did y'all feel bad watching that movie?
Not really.
I felt like a
no.
piece of shit because I had to pause it a couple times during the smoke alarm scene because he just got annoying. I'm like, I'm a bad person, but this is a lot.
I think it'd be different if Dustin Hoffman was actually,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, if
But
they
knowing
got,
that
like,
he,
a
know,
real-
he's a multimillionaire actor that's a huge dickhead.
You never go full talk.
If they got like an actual retarded guy to play him, is what
Yeah.
you're saying would work.
Yeah,
They did that in The Ringer. A couple of them are special needs.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What's
Not
the
what-
Ringer?
You've never seen The
Is
Ringer?
that the Johnny Knoxville one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Uh,
I've seen it. Yep.
The only guy that's not is the only guy that really had a notable line in that. I even said it earlier. When the fuck did we get ice cream? Like, that guy's not mentally challenged, but everyone else didn't really get to talk.
When the fuck did we get ice cream? I would be pissed too. No one told you? How long did he not know? Like a long time? He got like the bottom of the barrel ice cream? Poor kid. Poor kid. Yeah, why didn't no one tell that?
Him as a lie. So it's
They were gaslighting him. Do you guys know what gaslighting is?
Yeah.
People at home?
They were gaslighting him. So what had happened, from if you haven't seen this movie, spoiler alert, except for it's from 2005, but Johnny Knoxville is acting mentally challenged to get with a lady. It's a real tough sell. It's a real hard sell. And he joins this Special Olympics team.
This is pretty much the premise of all
Stand-up bits? Oh.
no. Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
This is 50 First Dates for
Yeah.
sure.
You except in
If
Billy
the whole movie
Madison.
was from 10 Second Tom's perspective.
it's just Sandler's autistic, not
Yeah, he's working around it. It's the pleasant one.
So the girl that fake mentally challenged Johnny Knoxville is trying to get with
Mhm.
has a boyfriend. He's a stereotypical douche. Stereotypical douche, i.e. he's cheating on the girl, uses the mentally challenged kids as like we were getting ice cream while he was banging a broad in the car.
Oh no.
And then that's when he's like, when the fuck did we get ice cream? Such a great movie. So
Yeah.
good.
You ever
I
seen
gotta rewatch it. Damn.
There's Something About Mary?
Have you seen my baseball?
Yeah. Well, and just the whole Matt Dillon part where he's like, yeah, I work with
What's funny is that was PC. Like, you were such a great guy if you said that line
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Yeah. My real passion is my hobby. What's your hobby? I work with Isn't that a little insensitive? Nobody's going to tell me who I can or cannot help.
I always have. Do you guys like go and intentionally watch comedy movies? Like turn them on regularly and like search for comedy movies every now and then.
That's just
Yeah.
about all I really watch at this point.
Seriously?
Yeah. Unless it's an action movie or I'm really paying attention to something like a Tarantino movie.
Right.
I'd much rather just like, unless I'm basically what we were talking about with Inglourious Bastards, unless I'm sitting down to a movie and I'm getting into that vibe, I just kind of want to put on something easy to digest.
Yeah, and those aren't they?
Yeah.
Comedies are.
Yeah, we were talking about this too. Like, I miss the old school buddy comedies. Like, there's no this generation's version of Dumb and Dumber now, or just a
Super
random
Bad or the other guys or
Yeah,
something
or-
like that.
one. Even something as
All the stoner comedies are buddy movies.
yeah, or I Love You, Man. Like, that's such a random movie to pull, but I used to
It
love
is.
that fucking movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
it
a
was
good
so
one.
funny to me that it was a bromantic comedy.
Sure.
Like, that itself was hilarious. Just imagine pitching that in 2008. You're like, you want to pitch a gay movie? Like, no, he's just trying to find a friend.
Dude, comedy movies, like, I have to be weird for me to, like, rewatch them or, like, go and watch them. I always, like, do you guys rewatch movies?
Yes, but I need time in between unless it's stellar.
Interstellar.
Yes. No, just a really good
Oh,
movie.
okay. Dude, Interstellar. Wow. That's a good call.
movie.
A great movie.
I would have rewatched it pretty quickly if I thought about it.
I like comedy, but like if they're super zany, really fucking off the wall, like kind of stuff like you haven't seen before. Like Napoleon Dynamite is one of my favorite movies.
Great one.
Or
Did you ever watch the Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny?
No.
It's Jack Black's band, so he actually has a metal band, and he's a really good fucking musician. He's just way out there.
Yeah.
But they make a whole movie about how a long time ago a piece of the devil was chipped off of him, and the devil's tooth was chipped off. And they used that as a guitar pick, and if you had the devil's tooth, you were the greatest guitarist of all time.
How fun is that?
While in possession of it. But it was also a metal musical. Like, there were a bunch of music throughout the movie that they wrote, obviously, and it's just so fucking random. It's a bromantic comedy like that, but it's also a stoner comedy. It's its own random cult comedy, but fucking no one knows about it, and it's just so random, and they watch
That sounds awesome,
Nacho
actually.
Li- It's definitely one of
I
those
watched
movies that I
Nacho
would
Libre.
recommend for a lot of people.
I hated Nacho Libre.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Pick of Destiny. We were about to have to naked fight.
I've never even seen that movie.
I'm going to have to put you on. Considering it was... Remember that story I was telling you about Selena putting on Chicago?
Yeah.
My ex-girlfriend, who is a very nice lady in case she's still watching. I wish
Fuck
everything would have
you.
worked out, but I'm a bad person and you were a great person.
Fuck you,
and
bitch.
it just made me feel bad, bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Stupid bitch.
Well,
She-
now
You
we're
gonna
gonna
date? You gonna dump this guy?
No, I dumped her.
You gonna let this piece of shit fucking dump you? Look
way,
at
way more in the correct vein. Like, really? You should have ended it way sooner.
a girl.
But-
I would be honored to be with you, Paxton. That's
I'm a fucking mess.
Oh, well, that's fine. I'd fix you, and I'd
Okay.
cook for you.
Ooh, that'd be pretty sweet.
I'd be so good to you.
I even hate doing the dishes, but if someone cooks for me, I'd gladly do the dishes.
I would gladly date
And then
you.
eat your butt.
Yeah. You like eating ass. I know
No. But just for you.
that.
You're not an ass eater.
No, I've never had a girl I cared enough for to even try it.
You gotta try it.
I'm good.
It'll change your life.
You could start
not-
small. Start on me or something,
Okay, I'll do that.
and then work your way up to a female. You know what I mean?
That's smart. That's smart.
Start with me. Start with Blake. Start with people that
What-
you know.
And
start with
start
your dad.
bad, and then it's always uphill. So don't even clean your butt. Just come with some swamp ass ready.
Okay.
It's like it's already salted, like a. I almost said sharded, man. It would have fit. Come sharded too. Might as well.
Pre-sure.
Yeah, just get it out. Why not? And
Well,
then
you need
it's like
to
salt in the rim on a margarita.
What you need to do is you need to start out with a tiny chick first.
Oh.
No, I think you're doing wrong because I know tiny chicks diets and it's awful, dude.
Vegetarians.
Tiny chicks diets. Tiny chicks
Well,
have the
no,
worst poops because
first-
they smell like they're dying from the inside out.
First, you got to make sure she takes a fucking shower before you go down there with your fucking tongue.
Mm-hmm.
First, what I got to do is I make sure this house has an investment in a bidet
Yeah.
for at least even me.
I heard some of the best advice from one of my black friends.
Okay,
He
it's
said
already great advice.
it was good
Have
advice. It
black
was one of
friends.
the best pieces, top 3 pieces of advice I've gotten. Is that he said start eating the girl out from behind, when her ass up in the air, so your nose can be near her butt,
Mm-hmm.
and so you could be doing smell tests when you're eating her from behind.
Ooh, that's
Smart.
Smart.
And then I was like, wow. And then he said, just go up there and run like run like a tongue over it. That's to check if she's into it. But the tongue just going up one time just to swipe. No harm, no foul. You can
It's a warning
mistake
shot.
those two things pretty easily
Right.
if you're groggy that day or something.
So,
Anyways.
give me some advice. I'm gonna tell you what I like to do in the bedroom, and tell me what you think I should fix.
Shoot, Paxton,
So
I'll listen to
I-
anything you have to say.
Obviously, we start munching on some box. You start munching on box first. You eat some carpet, and you get done.
Yum.
I don't do butt play. What I do is then I take a little note out of Blake and I's favorite thing. I posture up like in the UFC, and then I just start beating the shit out of the pussy. Because that's what I hear rappers talk about. They're always
Right.
talking about beating the shit out of the pussy.
Pummeling her
So
vagina.
like I posture up. I get a straight back. I like to make sure my core is tight.
Yeah.
And then I just
Let me
mollywop
see.
the shit out of. Like,
Let me
just-
see you do more of this physically. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I just fucking drop a people's elbow, just 12-6, right on the top of her clit.
You,
Because
okay.
I know that's where you get all the sensation. It's just.
Hit her clit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if hitting it hard.
Should I like degrade it? Should I yell at her clit?
Insult her pussy. Ah, you're
You
ugly.
look great, babe, but that fucking clit needs to go. What the hell happened?
Oh, you're beating the shit out of this pussy, boy.
You
You're
know
so
that one
verbally-
jelly bean in every jelly bean bag that's got 3 jelly beans? Why does your clit look like that?
Yeah, that's right. You're so. Oh man, no girl would ever break up with you ever again if you were verbally abusive to her vaginal area. I bet.
It's
Just
negging
try. Negging works
to an extent.
like a charm.
Yeah.
Like
If
a
you neg, and
charm.
also throwing it back to the Christopher Barton episode, if you neg with the compliment sandwich, you're pretty, but your nose sucks, and I'd like to help you fix that. Bam,
And
I'm
you,
in.
And you got a good dick. Tell the audience about how nice your fucking cock is, Paxton.
It's shaped like 3 or 4 tuna cans put together,
Right?
but here's the kicker.
No, I can't wait. Tell them.
The head of my penis is actually shaped like a reverse triangle. So it's wider up front, and it almost like shoehorns into the shaft.
Right. Okay.
So it's all up front, brutal torture of pleasure,
That's nice.
and then nothing on the back end.
What do you think about that, Blake?
You are my prime suspect. You are ground zero, so you would be able to best explain.
I'm calling bullshit.
Well,
Yeah.
you haven't seen it. You've seen it. How do you
No,
call bullshit? It's
I
either
haven't
correct or
seen
not
it.
correct.
Hold on. Turn the cameras off. Show us.
Not right now. It's too small.
You want to hear a crazy story about eating ass?
Kinda.
Yes, and then we'll get off
Well,
this
first,
topic
because you're my
completely.
friend, are you eating ass in this story?
No, I was attempting to eat ass.
All right, that's fine. Come
Makes
on.
it a little bit better.
Yeah, because I don't want to hear about my friends getting pussy or ass.
No, so I was dating this lovely lady,
Okay, that makes it better.
and she wanted to try anal.
And you're a selfless lover.
And I was like, all right, cool. I'm all for it. And her-
You knew that at home, though. Look at that deep V-neck. That deep V-neck tells you I eat butt on the first date.
But
Slugger.
unfortunately, her asshole was too tight.
Nice.
So the next day, I went and bought a butt plug.
Naturally.
And
Should've
butt
got her some
plugs,
poppers.
butt plugs come in like a pack of like small, medium, and large.
Because you have to grow it.
Yeah. So
Or I guess that's not the best way of putting it. What?
the next night, I was
We're running with a bit, but that one was sincere because you got to grow it.
so the,
Hold on. Back to you, Blake. Back to you, Blake.
anyways.
Right.
The next night, I was with
Everything
this
is cool.
lovely lady. I
Sure.
brought out the butt plugs and
Lovely.
stuck the small one in her ass, and dude, she freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Take it out! Take it out! Take it out!
Oh, wow.
Took it out, and her ass exploded.
Nice.
Her ass exploded?
Yeah, just shit.
Oh, shit.
Shit everywhere. Shit all over my bed.
On you? She shit on
No,
you?
I didn't get shit on, but there was
Ah.
shit everywhere, and I was like,
So
dude.
it's safe to say that Blake probably doesn't have a Cleveland steamer fetish.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm done.
It's safe.
No pooping on Blake's chest. Darn it.
Threw the butt plugs away.
The only time that a
Damn.
chick has ever come close to my butthole was not a girl I was dating, but have I told the story on the podcast of the girl that I kind of said that, like, hey, we need to stop hanging out because I don't want a relationship, and that when I was going to tell her is when I found out she lives 2 doors down from me?
Sounds like a song, like a country song.
So she was a
girl's
cool chick,
ass.
and I just wasn't looking for anything at the time, but we were hooking up regularly, and I didn't want to lead her on, so I went to go tell her, like, hey, this is, just so you know, I'm not looking for anything. This is probably going to end here, considering you probably want something, da-da-da-da-da, and it did so, but it was mostly because she tried to finger my butt during sex, and if she had long Slenderman arms, so she almost got there. Like,
Oh, nice. She
I'm a
just
large
went for it.
person. There's a lot of distance to cover in between
That-
the middle of my back and my butthole,
Sure is.
and she was getting down there.
That was a deal breaker?
Yeah.
I probably would have proposed.
Mm-mm. I don't, like I said, I don't have
Blake
a
likes
bidet. My
ass
butthole
stuff.
scares me.
Blake
My
lo-
own butthole scares me. Blake does like butt stuff.
Look at him.
Yeah, look at that guy.
That's awesome,
Deep
Blake.
V with a St. Christopher medal? Is that what that is?
No, it's a JFK medal.
Why do you have a JFK medal? That's
'Cause
so much
I-
weirder than a St. Christopher
I
medal.
like Mr. Kennedy.
You guys religious?
No.
Are you
No, it's a
religious?
JFK.
No.
I pray to the Kennedys every night.
So you are religious. In
Not
a way.
really.
But you worship somebody.
He has to face the South at all times.
Did you grow up Christian?
No, I kind of grew up in a weird vein where both my parents were not religious. My dad was more atheist, and my mom was, I guess, more agnostic, if anything.
Okay.
Um,
It's kind of how my parents were.
if anything, my mom is Facebook religious, to where she likes to keep up appearances, which I completely understand because I did that for a long time.
Yes.
But I would just go to church a lot with my best friend because that was the thing to do on Wednesday night, and that's where all my friends went. So I was just like, well, 4 of my friends are going to church. I'm going to be the 5th. I don't want to be at home alone, not hanging out.
Yeah.
And then just vicariously doing that, I went to church for like 6 years. And then
Did you learn anything?
I learned way too early on.
He didn't like
that-
butt stuff.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I did not like butt stuff, and that's why I still to this day don't. Don't worry, Molly. It wasn't you. It was Mr. What are their fucking names? Do they have a special?
Sometimes they do go by doctor, which is funny that you said that. But I don't actually know.
Do they have a
Minister.
suffix or prefix?
Minister,
No, it's just.
daddy. If you're Catholic. You got to jerk him off with your right hand only. Like, oh, I know that seems like you're right.
Speaking of butt stuff.
You guys were molested?
No.
No,
Were you molested?
other than the shit going
You got
everywhere.
fucked in the Navy. I don't know if literally, but you did get fucked over.
Yeah, figuratively.
Blaine was a Navy boy,
Ah, very good.
so he didn't get diddled because he wanted it.
Yeah. I wasn't a sub guy. That's what I say.
You were a dom.
No, I was an aviation guy.
Did you
Blake-
not get it?
No, I got it, but
Then laugh, dickhead. That's how we get clips on this shit.
oh yeah, that's how we get clips.
You grew up to be a really solid dude, man. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It's calling
I've-
you
I've
thick,
had- I
like
had
an
a-
offensive lineman, just hard to move.
Very interesting life.
We're gonna call you tree trunk.
Nice.
He's starting to figure that out.
Your parents still together, Blake?
No.
Paxton?
Yes.
Nice. Wow, look at
Yeah.
him.
Good.
La-di-da.
We'll just leave it at yes for now.
Fucking wheat. Fucking buckwheat piece of shit.
We are at an hour.
We are at an hour?
Yeah.
How long do we have for the audio
We
files?
panic now, or do we start playing games?
I don't know,
Why did he call that
That
out?
camera's been struggling.
The camera's been struggling?
Yeah, but I think it's good for probably another 10, 15.
Okay. This one's been going, and we haven't even gotten to movie number 5, which I could just barely see at this point. But that is your number 2.
Yes.
Django Unchained is number... I
That's
was talking to my dad about this, and my dad is very liberal, and he does not like this movie because of how much it's said, which I can kind of understand, like that word being said.
Yeah,
but-
that's an option. That's an opinion you can definitely have. Like,
Right.
If you don't like it,
He just doesn't watch it.
Sure.
But,
I don't care
to
at
a
all for
certain
some
extent, his demographic of movies, I guess, is historical fiction. And, I mean, I guess it's fiction, but, you got to be historically accurate, and that's what that shit was like.
Does he love the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson?
I doubt it. I don't feel like he's a very big Mel Gibson fan.
Okay.
But my dad's also weird. Like, he doesn't like a whole lot of movies, but loves Judge Judy. He could probably tell you each Judge Judy court case and what happened in it, like the back of his hand. It's
Dude, that's
ridiculous.
awesome. I do like Judge Judy. You ever watch that show?
Yeah, my whole childhood.
Yeah.
It's the noise I hear in the back of my head at all times.
That's like the weirdest thing ever. Just random. Oh yeah, my dad loves Judge Judy.
Judge Judy, he would
is
have
random.
on the Judge Judy marathon or the Law and Order SVU marathon. So like, I just heard a lot of traumatic shit. Like, have you ever heard the dun 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 dun? Have you ever heard the John Mulaney bit? Either of y'all about
Oh yeah.
how you can just hear the grossest shit on 2 p.m. if you just turn on Law and Order SVU? And like, it's not like saying the F word on TV, but you turn on Law and Order SVU and then you just say something like, the patient had anal contusions and anal seepage. You're like, nah.
I thought you were yeah, I think I have seen that one. I thought you were talking about the bit where he's just like that funny ass bit where he's talking about watching those cop shows and it's just like some guy getting interviewed by like the police, but he's unloading boxes still. Like he gets interviewed every day by the cops. He's like, "Have you seen this?"
I know her.
Oh,
She comes
yeah.
in Tuesdays from 5 to 5:03
Yeah,
usually. She seems sad.
Putting the crates down. That's so fucking good.
God. He's got a lot of material just on that because I was also thinking about his he starts talking about how he could just listen to Ice Cube start naming off examples for a full episode.
Yeah.
He's like, are you telling me this dude gets off with little girls with pigtails? And you're like, yeah, Ice. You work in the SV unit of the largest cop precinct in New York.
A lot of people. Yeah.
Oh, no, the joke was them describing addiction.
Oh,
And sex addicts. And he's like, that's a thing? And he's like, yeah, man. And he's like, so you're telling me sex addiction is like eating too much chocolate cake, or when you drink too much, or when you shop too much, or when you shop too much on credit cards, or you eat too much chocolate cake and throw it up? And John just goes, yeah, Ice, you got it.
yeah, you got it. You got it. Exactly like that. You want to talk comedy?
I do.
Who do you like? You
just-
said earlier that you can't watch hour-long specials anymore because, like, but you prefer them shorter. You prefer like the YouTube specials now.
Also, but I think it's partially in bias of because we're comics, I see so much comedy as it is already.
Totally, yeah, I can understand that. But at the same time, I almost can't still get enough of like my favorites if they're on.
Right.
Stuff.
Now it's not as fun for me, but I just want to see what they do with it.
Do
Like
with
where they started, or where they start a joke and how
right,
they
yeah,
get
yeah,
there.
yeah. You
'Cause I
start
wanna
breaking it down more.
not steal the formularity, but like steal the idea of how they did it.
Yeah, just like studying it almost subconsciously a little bit. Like, yeah, it's bad at that because when I started, I did that all the time where like someone would say something funny and be like, "Oh, you don't laugh at this? Do you like what you're?" It's like I fucking love it, but I'm not. I'll like laugh later, like once I figure out how they made that funny. Almost
Right.
like I will almost like get quiet when it was like a super good premise or something. Half jealousy, half curiosity
Right.
of what the fuck, how they do that. Who are your favorite guys?
I'm now starting to take out not only Dave Chappelle, but also Louis C.K. from being able to be picked. They're on like that god tier. Like, if I ask that question
It's
to
almost
someone
like
and
hacked
they
to you
say,
because they're legends.
yeah, if they say Dave Chappelle or Louis C.K., I'm like, I don't want to talk to you.
Uh,
You have no opinion.
I was about to say that. Definitely gonna say that was my favorites. Let's include those then.
Okay, we'll just include them because I feel like that's what I was getting at. In that, if you like comedy enough, those
Like-
should be your favorites at some point.
Oh yeah, you should like them at some degree.
Yeah,
Right, I completely
or
agree
at
with
least
that.
respect them
Yeah.
because they're.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call them gods because I've sucked enough dick today with Noah on, but
Legends
yeah, they're legends
for sure.
You sucked dick today?
You suck
Metaphorically.
dick.
Okay.
and physically.
Okay.
You were in here.
Okay.
Yeah, cooling everything down. Me and Tyler. Oh God, what did I call you? Thicky T. Me and Thicky T were in here.
Picky D.
You like
you
this?
have a fucking barcodes tattooed on your wrist?
I have a
What is that?
tattoo on my wrist.
117. That's what number you were.
Yes.
How'd you make
Jewish.
it out?
What?
How'd you make it out?
Waited. Did a lot of lotion.
Schindler's.
I'm very old.
Yeah.
He crawled into the pile of dead bodies and just acted like.
He's one of Schindler's
old.
Jews.
You like Tom Segura? Would you consider this guy a legend?
Segura, he's not a legend, but he is one of my favorites. But it's more personal than anything.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause he's, even though I love him to no degree, do I think he's up there with like Louis C.K. or anything. But when I was first getting into comedy, I turned on his special, and he did his specials and sounded like how I talked already. So it
Okay.
was the first time I saw it. It was like, not to sound shitty, it was like, I feel like I could do this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because that's similar to how my cadence already is.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, he was stealing Dave Attell's cadence, which, as much as that sucks, I love Dave Attell. I watched his hour-long special, or I tried to watch his hour-long special. I had to do it in 2 parts. And he's one of the greatest comics of all time. Another one that I don't want to say because I feel like it doesn't count.
Definitely legend status. Is that the new one were you talking about where he did like the hot cross buns with a little
Mhm.
flute at the end? Yeah,
I-
so.
The
That's
thing
kind of a
is-
weird choice.
But it was
like
such a Dave Attell choice because Dave
It's
Attell
hilarious.
just wants to be not even the next thing. He doesn't want to find anything. He's just like, I don't want to be any of y'all because I'm Dave Attell. I was Skanks for the Memories. Well, and he's such a fucking random comedy monster in that they say to this day, if you were to follow Dave Attell around to his nightly spots, each set that he goes to is different.
Really? That's
Yeah.
what they say?
Yeah, like he's still doing different shit all the time just for the fun of it, moving shit around even if it's the same jokes.
Oh, I heard that too. He was doing like different punchlines at the end of this one joke that was working every time this comedian was like falling around that night.
Yeah,
So I saw
he
the
went
same
and did
thing.
3 spots and wrote 3 punchlines to see which one did the best.
It's like, why are you changing it? It works. It's killing.
Yeah.
So it's already good.
Yeah.
You got it. He's like, oh, I feel like
be
there's
better.
something like a little bit more in there.
Yeah,
Some at the end.
he's the
Yeah.
ultimate comic because nothing's ever good enough. As
Yeah.
much as that does suck, that the greatest comics are the most miserable.
Well, I heard Rogan say this once. He was like, he's the one comedian that has just done a dog shit marketing job on his career.
He still has a flip phone.
Yeah, like he should be like, everybody should know who the fuck he is.
He's most comics' favorite comic.
Yeah, but if you ask your neighbor with the 2 dipshit dogs who David Tell is, he would probably be like,
Yeah, he didn't get the SNL stuff.
is
didn't
he
get the
is
early
he a
specials.
senator of Wyoming? Like,
Right.
yeah.
I feel like back in the day, though, like his younger self coming up, he was all over the place. Like when they did, like,
The Insomniacs show.
yeah, like he had a
like
show
early-
and he had specials just on like regular TV. But nowadays, I don't think he keeps up with like the. But in his past, he doesn't give a fuck.
It almost feels like in a way that I almost respect that he knew it wasn't his time in the spotlight anymore. So he's still doing his job and he's still doing a hell of a job doing it, but he's leaving it to the newer generation.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's doing it like actively.
I think he's made enough money to where he's just like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck
Well,
anymore.
And money's not as well. I've been listening to him now because he just did a recent cycle of all the podcasts I listen to because of Hot Cross Buns. But he says as long as he has enough money to keep his mom in a nicer home
Yeah.
right now, that he's good. That's
Yeah.
all he needs. He's legitimately still just doing it for the comedy.
Some people are like that.
Yeah, he's one of the OGs for sure. But now, if I were to name my favorite comics, and I'd probably have to do A5 and B, not in any sort of order. Right now, especially Big J Okerson is up there. I love him
Nice.
so much because he's also in that same vein of I love spontaneity in comedy. I feel lame as shit when I'm still doing the same jokes I started off doing. And at some point, I was like, all right, I'm going to talk to the audience because I feel dorky as shit right now.
He's so good at that.
Yeah, and he's so good at, like...
Seems like most of his bits he starts out is with starting talking to the audience.
Yeah,
He, like, does crowd work to get into his material. I'm like, how did you know it was going to end up there? And, like, he has this whole story about it. It doesn't seem pre-prepared. It all just seems like out of the moment. People want to hear that.
He knows his punchline, but he is so quick that he can make a punchline off of your shit. But Vinny brought it up in that the best crowd work comics are barely even crowd work comics. They're just good at leading you into thinking you're doing crowd work.
Mm-hmm.
It was like all of his shit is like, hey, lady over here, you go airtight, which is 3 dicks in you at one time.
Airtight.
Yeah, one in the pooper, one in the vagine, and one in the mouth.
Have you ever seen Ian Bagg,
Yes.
Ian
English.
Bagg, is he...
the Canadian comic that does pretty
Yes.
much all crowd work?
I got to see him at the store when I went to L.A. with my friend.
Dude, he is like a master at that shit.
Fucking hilarious.
His Amazon special, I don't know if you've seen that. I forget what the fuck it's called.
I gotta watch that.
It's one of my favorite specials because it's just so different because it's like 90% crowd work, but when he does tell jokes, even his jokes are fucking great.
Right. Yeah, so I need to get more into Ian Bagg because he was hilarious at the store when I went to go see him.
Yeah, he just seems like a nice guy too.
Yeah, he seems like a
Yeah.
wholesome person.
Yeah.
You never do comedy, right, Blake?
No, I don't.
I think you should at least like try it. You're funny enough and you know timing and shit because you've written scripts out.
I don't think I would want to do the performing aspect. I think
I
that's
get
the
that
part.
from
I
you.
think that's the part that I would struggle with most. I
That
don't
makes sense because I
joke-
put you in a chair in here and you
Yeah.
thought that was performing.
Yeah, in joke writing, the joke writing and the punchline. I
Yeah.
understand that, but I don't think I would do well in the performing stuff.
You
It would
do better than you think.
It would take me a while,
Right.
and I don't want to start from the ground floor on something else.
Well, I
Completely
mean, you say
reasonable.
that, but Vinny Guadagnino from Jersey Shore is now just starting stand-up, so...
Yeah,
Dude,
good
people
luck.
segue into comedy like
So
it's
quickly.
just like
Like,
it
they
makes
just have no
me
respect
feel
for
like
us.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you really feel like shit. 'Cause it's
Everyone
like,
fucking loves Johnny Depp and his stand-up right now, and it sucks ass.
Well, and here's
Johnny Depp does stand up.
yeah,
Jesus.
and it's all about how awesome he is.
really.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah.
Well, and here's the
Actor.
thing. I respect you guys in the craft so much to where I'm like, not that I couldn't do it, but it's like, I'm all right. It would be a hobby for me. I don't think it would be. I'd be trying to get a career out of
It's
it.
a completely reasonable thing. It's very weird. That thing is very strange.
Yeah.
But
'cause
it
it's-
is fun, and it's something worth trying a little bit,
Yeah.
even if you're like a tiny bit interested, because it does help you in other aspects
Yeah.
of
Kinda
life as well.
Kind of like how we were talking about improv out in the living room.
Yeah.
I feel like even if I did improv 3 times, it would benefit my stand-up so much, and it would, not to sound shitty, but I feel like it would benefit the people on the improv show at one point because I have such of my own vein, and I feel like I'd be able to not try and do what you did, where I was trying to make everything too funny, but I'd have my moments where I could fit it in and then also step back out.
Oh, that's that. You might be perfect. You might be really good at it. I would just be so uncomfortable in the moment. People are up there with me, and I'm supposed to be listening to what they say, and they're like, "Hey, say something so I can go next." I would just say something so outlandish, just abstract, get it off, just a joke thing.
Yeah.
And people are like, "What is that? What am I supposed to say to that? You aren't in the scene anymore."
Right.
I'm like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be in the scene." I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I was.
It's hard.
It's just you said it right in that they're too theatery.
Well, for me, there
Well,
works.
you didn't
I'm not.
say that. I'm saying that they're too theater for me. To
Yeah,
do
I'm not
improv.
like. I respect them.
Yeah,
I respect that kind of thing, but I couldn't do it. I just prefer like. I'm not doing. I might be being ironic or sarcastic or something up there, but that's not a character for me. It's just being like more deeply, more like inside of your own self. I don't have
Yeah.
to perform a thing for somebody like, okay, now, hey, like sell me this skateboard. You're a guy in Colorado.
Right. It's.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. I should have said something else. What was that guy's quote? That was the funniest.
I probably shouldn't have said that. I wish. Oh no! I wish I had said something else.
I wish I would have said something else.
Oh fuck! What were we just talking about? God damn it!
Improv. You want to try it?
Not really.
Let's do a scene.
Okay.
We'll see
All
how bad
Blake,
I
give
am.
us suggestions.
Perfect.
But give us some suggestions. Sit back in that chair and let's get some improv going. Do we want to play one word at a time?
Is that improv?
That's improv where you build a story one word at a time with everyone you're doing it with.
Oh, and then you make a scene out of the words.
Ooh, I've also got another thing lined up for this. After we play this improv game, I've got a game called
We
Bobby's
are
World.
at an hour 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will figure out if we can play Bobby's World after this. But I do want to see if we can get a quick game of one word.
Okay.
All
You
right.
guys like to keep your podcasts under an hour and a half.
We don't like to, but the cameras prefer it.
It's just too hot right now to be doing 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, look at you. You're sweaty in that closet.
Yeah. Oh, it's the camera equipment. That's the shit.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's not. It's his fault.
You're right. It is my fault.
Apologize. What are you doing? Apologize to Blake Paxton.
I'm so sorry.
You gotta be like a little bit
Take
more.
me back, babe. I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again.
You gotta be like a little bit more submissive, Paxton. You're so dominant. Isn't he an alpha? Wouldn't you say that?
I don't know if I'd say that.
Yeah, you're probably right. I give
He is Rick.
I give in to everything that I say incorrectly. When someone calls me out, I'm like, you're probably right.
he is Rick Dalton and I'm Cliff Booth.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm Rick Dalton. Fuck you.
Yeah, because you're always like freaking out and shit.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm always just like, yeah, whatever.
You just wanted to be Brad Pitt's sexy ass. Fuck you.
No,
All right, dogs.
Dogs.
That's my word for the improv
oh,
scene.
Cocker Spaniel.
Wait,
Nope,
no. You
it's
have
not.
To,
It's not that.
It's not word association. It's you gotta say a different subject. We can.
He
make a
started with
scene out of.
dogs. You say the next word of the sentence.
Taking a shit.
Nope, just one word, buddy.
Shit.
Dogs shit. Okay. Dog shit in.
Pool.
Oh, not your. No. Wait.
How are you fucking this up this much?
So we don't make the scene out of the words that we're about to suggest. We're just gonna go one word at a time and around the circle.
Yeah, we make the scene out of that. So, like,
Oh.
technically, it should have gone something along the lines of, like, the dog barks at something over there.
Yeah.
What the
But
fuck
then
is
Blake
this?
said a full sentence. And then,
I'm gonna go back to what Miles said. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
all right, do you want to play Bobby's World instead?
Yes.
What the fuck's Bobby's World?
Okay, it's a fun game. It's a word game that you got to figure out. So you'll figure out as I tell you. But here's the first clue: in Bobby's World, you can have trees, but you can't have leaves.
Did you hear that, Blake? Because I didn't. I don't understand.
So it's fall.
No, you just say you're trying to say things that are in Bobby's World and trying to figure out the pattern. So like another thing is in Bobby's World, you can have spoons, but there are no forks. And you're just trying to guess like what the riddle pattern is. Y'all never heard about this?
Are we playing right now?
Does
we-
Bobby have cancer?
Yes. No. You're just trying to figure out what's in Bobby's world. It also might be called something else, but we
What's
called it
in Bobby's ass? Spoons?
What-
Spoons are in Bobby's ass, but
What's-
forks are not.
What's in Bobby's ass?
Here's what's in Bobby's ass. In Bobby's ass, there is
What's
a letter, but there's no email in Bobby's ass. But there is a letter.
Fuck it. Wait.
What's in Bobby's ass, Blake? Your turn.
Okay, when do I go? Am I behind? Am I
No,
losing
okay,
right
now?
now?
It's your turn.
I'm-
So
I'm
What's in
winning.
Bobby's ass?
what's in Bobby's ass, Tyler?
How do I know?
That's the game. We're trying to figure it out. It's like a clue, but I'm giving you the hints around as a time. So one clue was there are spoons, but there are no forks allowed in Bobby's world or his ass. In Bobby's ass, there's allowed to be letters, but no emails. In Bobby's ass, there's allowed to be trees, but there are no leaves.
Okay, fine.
What's in Bobby's ass? What's allowed in Bobby's ass?
Christmas.
No, there's no Christmas in Bobby's ass.
That was my best guess. God
Blake,
damn
what's
it.
in Bobby's ass?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is not in Bobby's ass. But the Easter Bunny is in Bobby's ass.
Oh.
Was this like a
Yeah, you're trying to figure out, like, by guessing what the common denominator is.
Right. I don't understand
So
this game at all.
the Easter Bunny?
No.
No, Bobby's ass is the common denominator.
Well, technically, yes, I said that wrong. You
Yeah.
are correct, but that's not the point of the game.
Did you make this? You made this up. This
No,
is not
it's-
a real game. You are
This is
fucking with
basically
us.
like Mao. I can't tell you the rules of the game. You got to
No,
figure out the rules
you
of
are
the game.
fucking with us. This is not a
No,
real
this
game.
is a real game.
You made up a
I did
fake
this at
game.
DCC, and everyone figured it out
Oh
eventually
yeah,
after
that's a real game then.
Yes.
In Bobby's world, there are trees but no leaves.
Yes, but
Do I get a point?
yes. Even though you said something
How
I
is
just
this
said.
a game?
In
Is this something you play with your mom? Is this something you play with your fucking mommy?
This is what we did in college when we were drunk.
There are...
In Bobby's world, there are not pencils, and there's no paper, but there are walls.
In Bobby's world, there's streets without cars, and there's no people, but there's hair.
You almost fucking had it. Up until hair, you had it.
Thank you.
In Bobby's world, there are streets, there are no cars, there are no people, but there's also no hair.
In Bobby's ass, there is sand, but no water.
No. There's no sand or water.
You fucking stupid motherfucker.
But in Bobby's ass, there are seashells. There are seashells in Bobby's ass.
It's like he doesn't even get the like he doesn't even understand the fucking idiot.
I feel like maybe one person that watches this episode that might get to this and get it. So comment below if you do get it, but I'm going to keep playing. In Bobby's ass,
This might be one of my favorite episodes.
this is a fucking good episode so far.
This is an easy episode. Easy.
In Bobby's world, there are doors, but there are no frames.
In Bobby's world, I stay after the podcast
To have sex.
and Blake leaves, and then I'm invited into Paxton's room by myself.
That does happen. All right. Welcome. Thank you for watching another episode of the Dingbat District podcast. I think that's how we close out, is me getting sex from Tai Tai.
We're about to go fuck Blake, so wrap it up.
Where's this? Tyler, go ahead. And because we're also at time, and I know Blake is just patting
Dude,
his
these
knee
are the
waiting for it.
Cutest little mic stands I've ever seen, bro.
That's been up Bobby's ass.
Mike stand hasn't been up Bobby's ass.
Thank you, man. Thank you guys for having me. This was awesome. It was a lot
What
of
else
fun,
has
for
been up
real.
Bobby's ass? Chairs aren't up Bobby's ass.
Crack pipe.
Nope, not up Bobby's ass.
No.
But there are.
Tinfoil ball up Bobby's ass.
Thank you guys.
There is a tinfoil ball up Bobby's ass.
Oh yeah.
All balls are up Bobby's ass. All balls are allowed in Bobby's ass.
That's fine. I'm all right with that.
I can't wait to just tell you this because I love how confused you are. But before we do that, before we get off the episode, will you please go ahead and plug up your social media one more time? Tell them about the show you've got coming up, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here.
All right, guys, go ahead and follow me if you want to on Instagram, _Tyler_Varela. Very easy. Then I'll post the exact location of the show when we have it. It's a Cowabunga show, August 21st.
And please follow me at pbailey_comedy and Dingbat District Pod on Instagram. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube page. It helps a lot with the algorithm.
Please.
And please subscribe. Every Tuesday we have new episodes dropping, and new clips drop almost every single day.
And new
on-
Bobby's assholes.
And new Bobby's Assholes almost every single day on TikTok and YouTube. Thanks. Bye.